How do we prepare for an exam? The purpose of this video is to help you prepare and respond to the examination. Prior to arriving at the credit union, the examiner in charge will provide you with a list of items needed to complete the examination. NCUA realizes that the exam is a disruption from the credit union's normal daily operations. But having these items available for review at the start of the examination will minimize the disruption and facilitate the exam process. Your examination will go well when all staff and board members establish and employ systems to identify, measure, monitor, and control the risks within the credit union. The following tools are the cornerstones of a credit union's internal risk management system. Regular and effective board meetings that include monitoring, follow-up, and resolution of document of resolution items and other identified concerns affecting the credit union. An active supervisory committee that reports regularly to the board. See NCUA's Supervisory Committee Training video series for more information on the work of this critical committee. A set of strategic goals and related initiatives driving the credit union into the future. Policies and procedures, which reference and incorporate the same tools the NCUA examiner will use during the examination. These include the NCUA Examiner's Guide, the NCUA Examination Questionnaires, NCUA Letters to Credit Unions, Accounting Bulletins, and other supervisory guidance. And finally, the Office of Credit Union Resources and Expansion training videos, webinars, and guides. So what does the board do with the exam report? The NCUA exam is NCUA's assessment of risk within your credit union. The board should ensure that board meeting time is set aside to discuss the report. Board members should attend the joint conference. This is a closing meeting where the examiner shares the key findings from the exam. Read the entire final exam report in detail, including reviewing questions and comments. Attend the next board meeting prepared to discuss the report. And finally, strategize and propose action plans to address all concerns identified in the report. The board should also hold management accountable for correcting weaknesses and improving areas where needed. Monitor progress on the resolution of open exam issues until they are addressed. Discuss and resolve any management disagreements with the exam report. Work with a supervisory committee to ensure that there are no surprises in future exams. For more information about the role the supervisory committee plays, check out the NCUA Supervisory Committee video series. What does NCUA do to control high risk in credit unions? NCUA wants all credit unions to survive and thrive. As the insurer of your member shares, NCUA has various enforcement remedies to steer a credit union in the right direction. NCUA's administrative actions include DOR or Document of Resolution entries in the exam report. We described those earlier. A Preliminary Warning Letter, or PWL, from the Regional Director. And a Non-Public Letter of Understanding and Agreement, or LUA. These three documents are informal remedies, usually drafted in collaboration with credit union management. Within the PWL or LUA documents, NCUA might restrict the credit union from offering a particular type of product or service that's posing unacceptable risk. If the board fails to improve or follow through on the informal remedies noted above, more formal actions may be implemented, such as published LUAs, cease and desist orders or C&D, civil money penalties, conservatorship, removal and/or prohibition, involuntary liquidation, termination of insurance for federally insured state credit unions, revocation of charter for federal credit unions, and prompt corrective action-related actions. One area where NCUA regulations offer detailed remedies for poor performance is a deteriorating net worth or capital ratio. This key ratio is a common trigger for credit union liquidation or merger. For small credit unions, Part 702 of the NCUA Rules and Regulations outlines mandatory and discretionary supervisory actions that are triggered at various net worth levels. As the net worth ratio declines to the next tier, the credit union faces progressively more stringent safeguards from the NCUA. The goal is to resolve net worth deficiencies promptly, before they become more serious. Once a credit union passes the critically undercapitalized level of 2% of net worth, NCUA is required to take a prompt corrective action within 90 days. Consider and discuss this question at your next board meeting. What net worth ratio should be our minimum safety standard? What can we do if we don't agree with the exam report? A common question from credit unions is, if management disagrees with a DOR item or examiner's finding, what are the proper channels to challenge it? The examination process is a collaboration between the examiner and the credit union management, including the board of directors. They should collectively negotiate an achievable corrective action plan for any identified problems. The joint conference is the board's opportunity to discuss the examiner's concerns and plans for corrective action and to provide feedback. If differences cannot be resolved, contact the supervisory examiner. An appeal to the regional office may be made if necessary. Details of the appeal process are outlined in the cover letter of each examination report. Let's end with a summary of what you now understand about the NCUA examination. What is the NCUA exam? It's a risk assessment tool for NCUA. The exam reports and CAMELS rating provide a standardized system that helps NCUA to identify risk and establish corrective action plans when a credit union poses unacceptable levels of risk to the share insurance fund. What's involved? An exam team reviews a credit union's operations and assesses 7 risk categories or CLICSTR as low, medium, or high. Based on those risk assessments, the examiner then assigns 6 CAMELS component ratings and 1 CAMELS composite rating. How can we improve our chances of getting a good exam rating? Develop risk management practices to appropriately identify, measure, monitor, and control risk within your credit union. Consistently monitor the progress to correct identified deficiencies to ensure swift resolution. Maintain open lines of communication with your examiner throughout the year. Management should feel comfortable contacting the district examiner as a resource.